Alright, so when we think of iQOO's smartphones, a couple of things come to mind. Amazing performance, nice designs, and a pretty affordable price tag. Well, with the iQOO 11, that last part is, well, no longer there, since this is a full-fledged flagship device. And see, that's a very important thing, because what happens is that when you have a mid-range device or a flagship killer device, you have that understanding that of course there are going to be some compromises there. So you are able to let go of certain things. However, when it comes to being a pure flagship, you just want the best of everything, like literally no compromises. So, is the iQOO 11 a no compromise device? Well, I've been using the iQOO 11 for the last couple of weeks and I certainly do have some thoughts. This is one from GTR and you're watching my 11-day review of the iQOO 11. Let's get started. Alright, so first things first, let's start by talking about the design here. Now the iQOO 11 comes with a vegan leather back in this beautiful white finish with the signature BMW lines on top, since of course we have the Legend edition with us. Now even at around 200 grams, the in-hand feel of the device is top notch and the weight distribution is great. Speaking of the experience, the side edges sit somewhere between being a flat edge design and having a very slight curve to it. Now as a result, it's not as smooth as a curved edge would feel, nor is it as grippy as a proper flat edge would be. Now I'm not saying it's a bad thing or anything, cause with this leather back, the device still has a lot of grip to it and it won't slip out from your hands or anything. But even so, I personally would have preferred having slight bit of more curvature here. Also, while on the topic of having curves, the display here has none. Yup, despite being a flagship device, this one comes with a flat display and that I would say is a personal choice whether you want a flat display per se, not edge, flat display or a curved edge display on your flagship smartphone. Personally though, I like it. And the fact that it comes with Gorilla Glass Victus protection also means that it's quite durable. Now since we're on the topic of the display, let's just read off the spec sheet. It's a 6.78-inch 2K AMOLED display with a refresh rate of 144Hz. It's also the first E6 display here in India, which means you get an improved peak brightness of 1800 nits and a 13% lower power consumption as well. Not to forget, it's an LTPO display, which means the refresh rate can go as low as 1Hz and as high as 144Hz based on the content that you're watching. Now tech specs aside, this is easily one of the best displays that I've used on a smartphone, period. It's bright, vibrant, sharp and super smooth. Also aiding the display department are the dual stereo speakers here, and I would have to say that although it's not a true stereo speaker here in the sense that they're not exactly balanced, but even so the audio output is loud and clear and you won't have any complaints per se. Also, while you don't get a 3.5 headphone jack here, the good part here is that iQOO has graciously provided a USB-C to 3.5mm dongle inside the box as well. Also, speaking of connectivity, the iQOO 11 also comes with an IR blaster at top, and I have to comment that iQOO remains the only other brand apart from Xiaomi that actually offers this feature, and I really do admire them for that. Alright, so moving along, let's talk about the cameras here, which are definitely a highlight. Now the iQOO 11 features the all-new Samsung GN5 50MP flagship sensor here, coupled with an 8MP ultrawide sensor and a 13MP telephoto sensor. Up front, you get a 16MP selfie shooter as well. Now the specs are obviously flagship grade, and considering Vivo's and iQOO's track record, I personally had high expectations of the device's camera. And the good part here is that I wasn't left disappointed. In daylight shots, the images turned out really good with nice ambience and slightly boosted vibrance. Now the color accuracy can be a hit or miss at times, but the end results almost always turn out likable. The camera does tend to oversharpen images at times though, so it's not pure detail but extra post-processing. As for human shots, the skin tones and structure is pretty good. It's not super aggressive like the Google Pixel, nor is it super smooth like Realme does it. It sits somewhere in the middle, which is really nice. Now even for portrait shots, the edge detection is quite accurate thanks to the telephoto lens, which comes in handy for the bokeh effect. As for selfies, it's one of the best selfie cameras that I've used on an iQOO device. You get good amount of detailing with accurate skin tones and pretty good edge detection for portraits as well. Now moving on to videos, you can record up to 8K at 30fps or 4K at 60fps. Unfortunately, the ultrawide sensor is limited to just 1080p 60fps. Nonetheless, as far as the video performance is concerned, it's pretty good with nice color reproduction. Now of course, iQOO's major USP in videos is stabilization here. While you do have OIS baked into the hardware, recording it utilizes a hybrid mode of OIS plus EIS to offer amazingly stable footage even at 4K 60fps. Lastly, we have the low light segment where the GN5 sensor truly shines. And the noise levels are really low, even in challenging conditions, and the V2 chip inside helps for enhanced night mode photography. In fact, there's a super night mode in here that truly manages to take things to the next level in terms of illumination. Now, I personally could not push it to the limits here because, of course, right now in Delhi NCR, there's a lot of fog, so I can't really show you what iQOO has been claiming. But from what I saw and what you guys also saw in the video just showcased on your screen, it's pretty compelling. Alright, since we have covered all of that, let's talk about iQOO's biggest strength, which is the performance. The iQOO 11 is the first Snapdragon 8 Gen device in the country, and it combines that with the latest UFS 4.0 storage and LPDDR5X RAM. Now the benchmarks are on your screen, and the results are true to the company's claim of calling the iQOO 11 the world's fastest smartphone. Also, thanks to the big vapor chamber cooling combined with Qualcomm's optimization, the CPU throttling is also very respectable, that too when tested in a room temperature of 24 degrees Celsius. So as you would expect, gaming on the smartphone is an amazing experience. iQOO also offers frame interpolation that makes the games look even smoother, and with 4D vibration, the experience is super immersive as well. So of course, whatever parameters that I've touched, everything has been positive for the iQOO 11. But that's not to say that everything actually is positive, which brings us to the software department. See, out of the box, this thing comes with Android 13, so that's good. But the fact is that it still comes with FunTouch OS. And like I said at the start of this video, when it comes to being a flagship device, the consumer does not want to compromise. And FunTouch OS still feels like a compromise at this price point. See, now I don't have anything against the OS per se. It's still a nice skin, and I do admire how much they've improved in the last couple of years. But even so, it does not feel like a premium skin. I mean, what I'm trying to say is that it's not as refined as Samsung's One UI or even OnePlus's Oxygen OS. That being said, there is still some silver lining to it, which is the fact that iQOO's track record of updates has been amazing. So basically, rest assured, you should get timely updates on your iQOO 11, be it security updates or feature updates or even Android version updates. Lastly, we have the battery life. Now you get a 5000 mAh battery with 120 watts of fast charging. Thanks to the optimizations that Qualcomm has done with the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2, despite having all this hardware, the phone can easily last a day of normal use without any issues. Now of course, if you're gaming on this all day, you are going to need to juice it up. But with 120 watts of fast charging, that's never going to be an issue. So, the big question, is the iQOO 11 worth it? Well, at the time of recording this video, we do not have the exact pricing, but I do know that the phone is going to be launched for a starting price of about 60 to 65,000. But in the first sale with the initial bank offers and everything, the price of the starting variant should fall somewhere between 50 to 55,000. Now at that price point, the iQOO 11 definitely manages to check a lot of the boxes. You get a flagship design, premium build quality, stunning display, amazing cameras, the fastest performance without having to deal with overheating, and a long battery with fast charging. Now the only two issues that I have with this device at this price point are: one, the software is not as refined as a premium software should be, and two, iQOO still is not a name that resonates with being a flagship. Which I think is a bummer, because for that second point, I have to say that iQOO right now, considering all of its offerings, should have the same level of respect that OnePlus has. Now, of course, OnePlus has been around for a longer period of time, but that does not mean that iQOO hasn't done enough to gain that level of respect. Be it timely software updates, having a good community, be it offering good features, iQOO has done pretty much it all to become a respectable brand, and as a consumer you should not have any issues spending that much considering the kind of hardware that you're getting. So yeah, at the end of the day, for about 50 to 55,000, the iQOO 11 is easily one of the best flagship Android smartphones that you can buy right now. Of course, with that being said, the iQOO 11 will face a very tough competition from the upcoming OnePlus 11, which will be launching in a couple of weeks, and we of course will be comparing both the devices, so make sure that you subscribe to our channel. On the other hand, there is already another flagship smartphone that has been launched in the country for a while right now that is worth taking a look, which is the Moto S30 Ultra, and you can check out our detailed review of the device by clicking the card here. Or you can always watch more amazing tech content from the team here down here. Till then, this is Van from GTR, and I'll see you in the next one.